Rather than lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. There's some big news on Declan Rice this week, according to The Guardian, and also according to the 90-minute podcast. A lot of stories flying around that Arsenal are going to be submitting a 90 million bid after the UEFA Conference League final on Wednesday. That is tomorrow. We're going to be diving into the right back situation. According to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal have been handed a 50% cut on Ivan Frasneder's asking price. Now, it looks like the release clause of the player will be 20 million euros. That is 20 million euros less after Real Valladolid were relegated from the Spanish La Liga. And of course, we'll be talking about Ike Gundogan and an update from Moises Caicedo from Adrian Kajumba of the Daily Mail. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. It's going to be a very intense week. It's going to be a very, very interesting week for Arsenal and for Bayern, especially both clubs are really locked on to Declan Rice. I really, really love to sign Declan Rice if Arsenal can get the deal done. It's a statement signing, and it would mean that Arsenal have just gotten out of the underdog mediocre signing range to the superstar signing range. Let's get this video to 500 likes and opinions and thoughts in the comment box below. Do you think Arsenal should pay over 100 million for Declan Rice? Right, let's get into it. Now, according to 90 Min, Arsenal, Bayern Munich are all set to send in their bids for Declan Rice after the UEFA Conference League final. That will be tomorrow on Wednesday. West Ham are expecting these bids because they have already made it clear that they want this deal to get over the line as quickly and as soon as possible. I don't know why they wanted to get done, quickly, because they are going to replace him with James Ward-Prowse, or they should replace him with James Ward-Prowse. That is some bit of scouting for them. But it seems this week we will see either Bayern or Arsenal advancing for Declan Rice. But I think the biggest news here from the 90 Min is that Arsenal are going to send in a 90 million bid that is confirmed initially for Declan Rice. And they are thinking and hoping that West Ham will be very kind enough to go, that is enough, you can have your man. Now, what I understand is also that Bayern are going to send in their bids. West Ham expect at least a bidding war between these two giants, Arsenal and Bayern. Manchester United are interested, as I've heard, but it doesn't seem like they will be spending 90 million on one player. According to what I've seen, they want to sign in around 4-5 players. They're looking at a goalkeeper from Porto. That's around 70 million. They're looking at Kim Min-jae from Napoli. That's around 60 million euros. Mason Mount around 50-60 million. So they might not be able to go 90 million at once on one player. On the other side, Arsenal, Bayern, I don't expect us to sign so many players this summer, maybe 2, maybe 3, and that may just give us the advantage in this market. Look at one player and then sign that one, splash all the cash, break the bank to sign Declan Rice. So 90 million, the bid is going to be sent in. That is confirmed by 90 million. And The Guardian, through Jacob Steinberg, I've also said that Arsenal do have the upper hand to sign Declan Rice. Now, Decas doesn't want to leave England. He just became a father last summer, so he would love to stay in England with his family. And the only way that happens if he's gonna join Arsenal. A few other clubs, of course, in England are interested, including Chelsea, but they do not have UEFA Champions League. And The Guardian are also reporting that the fact that Mason Mount is leaving Chelsea, that doesn't help the odds in favor of Chelsea. So, look, Mason Mount to Manchester United. If you're an Arsenal fan right now, trust me, you're really, really, really praying for that to happen, okay? So, look, this is the situation, and I really love what's happening here. I think West Ham have made themselves very clear that any club that is interested in Declan Rice has to meet the asking price of 100 million euros or 100 million pounds. I think it will be much less than that. It might be around 90 million euros, which will be paid in installments. And I think the final deal could be around 80 between 80 to 89 million pounds, and I don't think that's a bad deal. I don't think that's bad money for a player like Declan Rice. 24, one of the players that are on the trajectory of becoming world class. He joins a Premier League giant like Arsenal, a project that wants to win the Premier League in the next 2-3 years. I think it would be very, very good. There's a lot of romanticism around this deal, right? And I really, really do love it. So 90 million for Declan Rice. I think, look, this happens in two ways. And this only goes down in two ways. One, Arsenal spending 90 million on Declan Rice means that we have the money now to go wild. Remember that time when Manchester United started signing big names for big money? Paul Pogba for 90 million, close to 100 million euros. The likes of Romelu Lukaku for hefty fees and all that. That has not really helped Manchester United, but it has established them as one of the biggest clubs over the last 10 years, despite the fact that they do not have any silverware to talk about. I think that is where Arsenal need to go, and I've talked about it before last summer and during the season, that the next step for Arsenal is to go from signing these mediocre players, Ben White from Brighton, the likes of the likes of Tomiyasu, to signing those statement signings, to making those big deals that everyone looks at and goes, wow, Arsenal have signed Declan Rice. That is something to be afraid of. I think right now, if you think about Arsenal, there are a few players you will be frightened of. You think about William Saliba at centre-back, he's a frightening figure. You think about Alexander Zinchenko, he's a frightening figure. You think about Thomas Partey, Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, and Gabriel Jesus. I think those 6 players are players that the opponent will be afraid of. They're players that the opponent will think about each and every single day before they play Arsenal. So if you add Declan Rice, probably Moises Caicedo, probably Moussa Diaby, it just takes Arsenal to the next level. It just makes us, a top quality side, all right? And as we go into the UEFA Champions League, you need those big names. You need those names that every club will be thinking, okay, I'm going to play Arsenal, but they have Declan Rice, they have Odegaard, and they have William Saliba, and they have Alexander Zinchenko, and they have so many good players in there. It's not going to be quality of a young team. It's going to be quality mixed with absolute, passion, absolute, levels. And for me, that is why that's why I think the Declan Rice deal makes a lot of sense for Mikel Arteta and for Tottenham as well. But then he's been a leader at West Ham. I think that's one of the things that we're gonna have to debate upon maybe someday. Is he the greatest West Ham captain? If he wins them the UEFA Conference League final, is he then the greatest captain at West Ham? I mean, it's going to be a big question, because if he wins them the UEFA Conference League final, West Ham will have won silverware. Arsenal do not have any silverware ever since we won the FA Cup, under Mikel Arteta. And if he wins the Conference League, it means that they have won a European, silverware. Arsenal do not have European silverware in the last 30 years. We do not have European silverware for the last 3 decades. So, look, with all respect, if Declan Rice does it, it's a challenge for Arsenal. So, I understand where this is going to go. Now, according to Jacob Steinbach, Arsenal do have the upper hand. As this is not because we are the more attractive club, but one, he says there is a mutual friendship between Mikel Arteta and Declan Rice, but then there is also a mutual admiration between Declan Rice and Mikel Arteta. And he says going to Germany is a move that just seems and looks unlikely for Declan Rice. So let's wait and see what's going to come out of there. But I'm really, really, really positive that this week something is going to happen on the Declan Rice. We will know whether he's going to go to Germany or he's going to stay in England. If he's going to stay in England, where is he gonna go? As soon as the bid is goes in, I will be the first person to report that, and I will be able to let you know. Now, in favor of Bayern, because I don't want to be very, very biased on this one. Bayern have had positive talks with Declan Rice. That doesn't mean they will sign him. That means that they've also managed to stake a big stake on the prize. And you know when it means what it means when a manager like Thomas Tuchel, a manager of his stature, a Champions League winning manager, talks to a player like Declan Rice, he can promise him heaven and earth. But we'll talk about that later. Now, the second story today is about Ivan Fresneda, and the boost that Arsenal have been given in the signing of the Spaniard 18-year-old right back. Now, I think one of the priorities we have this summer, and I'm very, very, very happy that it is a priority, is Arsenal's right back situation. I don't have a problem with Ben White. I've already spoken about him in quite in a very, very calm way. At times I've been very disappointed and very disappointing commenting about him. At times forgetting that he's not even a full right back. But I think Arsenal do need a proper right back. Arsenal needs someone who can, help Bukayo Saka on that right-hand side. I think Saka would be a much better right winger if we had a proper right back. Someone who can create more chances, someone who can make those overlapping runs to allow Saka space to run into and cut inside, someone who can provide that constant support for Saka. Of course, we know Saka's hard work and his ability to track back, his ability to, help out defensively. So you need a player who can, counter, a player who can, offer Saka the same kind of support in the final third. We're looking at Ivan Fresneda, the player that we looked at in January. Of course, as always, 18 years old. It means Borussia Dortmund are going to be sniffing around. But the big story, according to Fabrizio Romano yesterday, Arsenal will have to pay less than 20 million euros to sign Ivan Fresneda. In January, the price tag was around 25 million euros, but the release clause was reportedly 40 million euros. Now, the fact that Real Valladolid have been relegated, it's not very good news for Real Valladolid fans. It's very good news for Dortmund and Arsenal fans, because it means that the release clause of the player has drastically been cut in half. It's now 50 million euros. It's now 20 million euros, and according to Romano, he will be leaving this summer for a reported fee less than 20 million euros. This is a bargain. This is an absolute bargain. Now, I'm not going to be this kind of guy that comes and says, look, Ivan Fresneda, best right back in the Spanish League and all that. I've not actually watched him enough. I've watched maybe 1 or 2 games just to make sure, to understand why a true of the club that I support really interested in Ivan Fresneda. I think he would be a very good player at Arsenal. I think he would be a very, very good player at Dortmund as well. If Ivan Fresneda is coming in as a starter, it's a good deal. It's a very, very, very good deal. But it might also be one of those deals where he comes in, Tomiyasu leaves, and then Ben White retains his position as at right back. That is something I don't want to see next season. I would love to have a proper right back, a proper right back at Arsenal. And I think it's something that Mikel Arteta has been planning on for quite some time. Remember when we were linked with Aaron Hickey who eventually joined Brentford. By that time, he was still playing in Italy. I think was it Sassuolo or Bologna? I think Bologna. There was that admiration to sign a right back, and then we are also linked with Max Aarons. Then we're also linked with Kyle Walker-Peters at Southampton. So there is that admiration, there is that desire for us to sign a right back, a proper right back, someone who can lead the attack, and someone who can also put in that defensive work. So let's wait and see. Ivan Fresneda, nothing advanced, nothing close, but someone and a player to keep our eyes on. Well, the other big story for me today is on Ike Gundogan, because according to multiple sources, Ike Gundogan has 4 offers on the table, 1 from Saudi Arabia, 1 from Manchester City, 1 from Barcelona, and 1 from Arsenal. Now, Arsenal have offered him 2 years plus another year. Barcelona, of course, the crazy, mismanaged lunatics that they have actually offered him 3 years. He's 32, for Christ's sake. They have offered him 3 years, 9 million euros per year. I really don't understand what Barcelona are trying to do. Are they trying to solve their FFP crisis, or are they trying to drain themselves? Because for me, just to be honest, I think what Barca should be doing, and this is my pure opinion, they should be going for younger players that they can seduce, cajole into signing for Barcelona, and then offering them these long-term contracts where payments are spread out, just to allow them get that enough time on the books to clear the mess. But what they're doing, they're signing free agents and giving them huge amounts of money, per year, and then eventually these players are going to leave within a very, very short period of time, and then Barca will be back into the transfer window. I really don't understand. They're trying to bring back Messi. They're trying to sign Ike Gundogan. These deals really don't make much sense, in my opinion. But Barca have offered him 3 years, Arsenal 2 years. Mikel Arteta is a big fan. The salary Arsenal have offered is not yet known. Saudi Arabia is another option. And Manchester City, of course, is another option. They have offered him 1 year plus another extra year if he does actually perform well, which he will do. He will definitely perform very, very well. And Adrian Kajumba has said that Moises Caicedo right now is the hottest property on the market. Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal are all interested in signing Moises Caicedo. And if the situation is not resolved quickly, there might be interest from abroad. That is the bad news. You don't want the likes of Madrid, the likes of Barca to get involved in this one, all right? So interest is heavy. Brighton have already set their asking price, but that should be one whole video. And I'll see you in that video when we talk about the price Brighton have they're actually asking for, and we'll be talking about whether I think Arsenal will bid for Moises Caicedo, because I just have this odd bad feeling that although we are in pole position and everything, this could be more like a Yuri Tillemans kind of deal, where we lead everything for a whole transfer period in January, and in the summer, we are nowhere to be seen. We are nowhere to be seen. Because I've seen rumors that Arsenal will be fancying signing Martin Zubimendi over Moises Caicedo. But we'll talk about that in the next video.